Have you had people come in and say, I want the gun that's in this game? Or,
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. Kids that are just turning 21.
What?
They're like, hey, what's that on the wall? I'm like, oh, that's a Chris Vector. You know, it's a sweet, decked out looking little submachine gun thing. It's not an actual machine gun. It's a carbine. It's semi-automatic because we're not getting. Yeah, there you go.
That Chris Vector.
Yeah.
Let's see that
And it's like, oh yeah, man, I used to run that thing in Call of Duty, man. I used to run that thing in Modern Warfare 2.
Wow.
All types of or just like, I mean, I had a dude come in there, didn't know anything about guns. He was a rich guy, he came up in a Porsche. He was like, I'm looking for the revolver that Dirty Harry used.
Wow.
In Dirty Harry. I'm like, all right, like the one like Clint Eastwood used. And he's like, yeah, that's the one. I'm like, all right, it's a Smith & Wesson Model 29, and I hand it to him. But we actually had one. They still make them in commercial production. There you go, 44 Magnum. And he was like, yeah, I'll take it. Didn't want to know anything about the gun. Just wanted it because it was in Dirty Harry. So, yeah, that's it.
So it's just amazing to me that someone sees it in a video game or something like, oh, now I got to have this.
Yeah, they just want it.
Especially if it's a game from like Grand Theft Auto, because you're driving around with that.
yeah, on your lap, man, just shooting motherfuckers. Yeah, that's just how it is.
Do you have you ever sold a gun that was used in a crime or murder?
I wouldn't know. We do get like police trade-in guns, and it's not unheard of for police departments to pick up guns. This is all around the country. They pick up guns in crimes, and then they pretty much clear the crime out, but they still have the firearm that they confiscated off somebody, and then they'll resell it to gun stores, and the gun stores will sell it used for a cheap price. It's really, really popular. So there's plenty of guns out there that have. I'm sure they have some bodies on them. Like I got an old SKS, right? I've seen it in
I think in Call of Duty.
An SKS?
I think so.
I don't know, man. It was a rifle used in the Vietnam War a lot. The one I have was manufactured in China, but it's a cool rifle.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah, and it's an awesome rifle. It's the first gun I ever bought, man. When I turned 18, I bought that thing. And the one I got was a Vietnam bringback. So some veteran was in Vietnam, probably smoked some Vietnamese dude, had an SKS, and then took it home when he came back from the war.
Dang.
So who knows what that rifle has seen? Yeah. And I mean, the one I got was made in 1953, so it's definitely seen something. That
was some killing years back then.
It's older than my pops. Oh yeah, man. I mean, that thing was probably like, early stage of Vietnam War. And they were used fighting. I mean, there's originally a Russian gun. The gun was invented by a Russian inventor, Simonov. But then, how the Russians are, they're communists in the Soviet Union. So all of their designs, after they kind of were like declared antiquated, they kind of just spread it around the socialist united world. And so China pretty much got the manufacturing rights to make these, and the Chinese loved them, and they made them in the millions. There's millions of these things around the world right now. Wow. You have pictures of African tribesmen.
Yep, you see them a lot with those guns.
Extended, earlobes, the whole thing, and they're not even wearing Western clothing, and they have an old Chinese SKS over their shoulder. That's their gun.
That's wild, huh?
Crazy.
Isn't it interesting? Like so much of that of the firearms trade that goes on, it's unbelievable.
I mean, whatever you think is going on commercially in the U.S., just think under the table internationally.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, you have countries that you wouldn't even expect, like HK in Germany, massive firearms producer. They sold, I think like 20,000 G3 rifles to Saudi Arabia, and then all of a sudden they found a bunch of these rifles in the hands of ISIS in Syria, or they found them in these militia groups, Al-Nusra in Syria, and they have all these G3 rifles that were just sent to Saudi Arabia. So there's actually like a lot of international organizations that kind of track where these things show up. I mean, there's pictures of like the conflict in Syria, the civil war, where they're driving a Panzer IV from World War II, a German tank. It's like, where the fuck did they get that shit? That thing weighs 25 tons. Where the fuck did they get that?
Dude, there's pictures of fucking ISIS driving old Ford Tauruses as well, dude.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying, there's such like a secondary market that it's so funny, like how on the surface would be like, no guns, and then if you go and look at how America makes money, one of the ways is through selling firearms to different countries. It's crazy.
Firearms is a fraction of it. If you think about the military-industrial complex, we're talking weapon systems. I mean, fighter jets, missiles. Things that one single F-35, right, a Lightning II, that are pretty much our newest 5th generation multi-role jet. I mean, they're worth fucking billions of dollars. Just the whole program itself, and they're sent and they're sold to all these countries in NATO. And I mean, all these weapon systems just end up in the hands of all types of people. It's the weapons trade, not just small arms, not just machine guns and rifles and
software
pistols.
too, even.
Everything. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, old submarines, ships, everything. The defense industry internationally and even under the table is fucking monumental.
Good evening, good afternoon, and other times. Thanks for watching that video you just saw. I mean, it was okay. But the next video you could watch could be way better. What if you watch a video right now that changes your life? Well, you could watch this one, or watch this one. Watch this one, watch this one, watch this one. Ah!